are recording. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for the introduction. I have slightly deviated from the topic, I suppose. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the importance of science or evidence in medicine as such. But before that, I'm trying to put some theoretical background to understand why we need that kind of thinking. So I will start with some amount of evolutionary biology and then move on to the evidence part of it. Now, the first thing I want to all of us to remember is evidence-based practice starts with understanding what is medicine. And as we all have some interest in medicine, I suppose. So we have 3 parts to, or 4 parts to medicine. One is diagnosing, treating, and prevention. And the prevention part is one of the most important things. And I think in the next few years, this is going to get bigger and bigger. The evidence is going to be, or the medicine is going to move more and more into the prevention part of it. Anyway, this is the basic idea of medicine. You want to have a good diagnosis. We want to have a good treatment. We want to have a good preventive strategy. What does it mean, a good strategy or a good diagnosis or a correct diagnosis or a correct treatment? For that, we all nowadays rely on science part of it rather than just somebody told me, or this is what my grandmother used to do, or this is what my teacher told. That kind of thinking, we have to move beyond that. So for us to understand evidence-based medicine, I think we will not get into the technicalities of it. So I thought we will look into the basic structure of medicine, that is the humans. Remember, humans are not the only one we are doing medicine on. We have medicine for animals also, and also for trees also. But we are going to concentrate mostly on the humans. So we want to understand what is so unique about a human group, right? Or human as a species. Now we know all that humans are social animals. What it means is we live in groups. We have mores and cultures and common goals. All these things happen, and so there is some amount of empathy and altruistic ideas towards each other. That is, we all think that we all have to be good together. We all have to get better. We want to help each other. That kind of thinking is what I meant by empathy and altruistic ideas. So we live in a group, large groups. That is one of the hallmark of humans. And we are also social animals, right? So what does it mean for us to understand like this? Now, if you think of why we are social animals, is because we are we don't have any other protective mechanism. We don't have tremendous ability to run faster or jump higher. We can't run away from a cheetah or an elephant or even a cow, leave alone predators. So how are we so successful is because we have far better cognitive abilities. We are superior in thinking, outsmarting most of the animals, and we are adaptable. That is, we can adapt to different environments. How are we able to adapt to different environments? Because we are good in making tools. From shoes to clothes is what made us go from Africa up to the coldest part of Siberia into the Northern America, right? So that happened only because we are able to adapt. And out of all these things, today I am going to concentrate on the social structure and cooperation. That is, we are good in cooperating. We are good in social structure. That is, we have an hierarchy. We have people who we call it as farmers, who we call businessmen. We have people who look after health, artisans, these kind of structures are there, as well as there is a cooperation among all of us. That is, if somebody is doing agriculture, somebody can do arts, and somebody can do medicine. So there is a cooperation among us. So what does it mean? Now, if you look into the archaeology of earliest humans, probably for 50,000 years ago, there is a pit called as Simon de Lois in Spain, where there are, it's a huge cave where all homoid species were using it for probably 1.5 million years ago, from the early hominoids to the Neanderthals. They were all using it. And in it, we have a Homo sapien bone. They have found a Homo sapien bone, wherein it clearly shows that there was a the femur, that is the bone in the thighs, got broken. It was broken. That is not a great thing, because we are all violent animals. We fight each other, as well as we are trying to survive so that the animals can also come and hurt us. What was amazing about that find is the fracture has happened and then it has healed, and that guy who was buried there was 43 years old. 43 in 50 years back, 50,000 years back, was a great old person. That is, it is so difficult to live up to that. So what it means is there were signs that when his femur was broken, remember it is the thigh bone, there are signs that it has healed. What does it mean? If you have a femur fracture, that is, if your thigh bone is broken, it will take anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks for you to heal properly, adjust to heal. During that time, you cannot move, you cannot put weight on your foot, you cannot walk around. So someone else was taking care of that person until it healed. Someone was giving him food, someone was nursing his pain. So all these things happened long back. That is basically some sociologists have considered as one of the signs why we are such a successful species. We are able to go from Africa until the tip of the South America. We are able to outlive all the animals. Nowadays, we are killing most of the animals also. We are able to do that because we are such a cooperative animal, right? If it is it happens to, even nowadays, if it happens to a lion or the greatest predators, it's difficult for a lion to survive with a femur fracture. But humans can, because somebody else took care of it. That, I think, is basically the principle of medicine. That is, you take care of your group. You take care of them financially as well as in the health part of it. In case of medicine or physiotherapy, we are looking after the health part of it. So this is not a new idea that is taking care of others. That's why I went so long back. It is not a new idea, but we now have a formal system of taking care of other people. That is what we call as the health systems we have. As you all know, nowadays, one of the important priorities of any government anywhere in the world is to have healthy individuals. Healthy individuals means they can produce more so that we can be, as a group, a wealthier group, a successful group, right? So one of the parts of medicine is, as you all have some interest in physiotherapy, is to take care of them without medicine, that is, without pharmacology or without surgery. That's what we are all trying to be. For that, if you want to be a successful therapist or a good therapist, I suppose, you need three broad things you need. One is you need empathy and altruism. That is, you need to have some amount of sympathy towards your fellow humans. If you don't have, then it's not a bad thing, but you don't have any role in, you should not be in medicine or in physiotherapy for that matter. And you should have some amount of caring for the other people, which is not just always a selfish reason. So that I think is the most important thing. And as I also told you, this is not a new thing. This has been happening for millions of years, I suppose. Even in Neanderthals, it was happening. So you want to bring that out to me. Then you want to have a good knowledge. That's what we mean nowadays about evidence-based, which is closer to truth. That is, you want to give the best medicine. You want to prescribe the best surgery. You want to do the best physiotherapy, right? What I mean by best is closer to truth, right? You want to understand what is the truth, what is the best, how do I find that this is the best, and all those things. And then when you apply that, we want to have that empathy and altruism inside us, as well as we want to understand that we all live in a society. So we want to have a treatment which reflects that also. There are many parts to it, but I've just given three parts to what I think a good therapist should learn and be, so that we'll have some amount of understanding before getting to. We will go in a slightly skewed fashion. So we will start with what is truth, then we will get into the other parts. Now, you will learn as time goes by. That is, we can come closer to truth. We can never know the truth. So that's why I've written it as closer to the truth. Say, for example, in math, you should have studied 2 + 2 is 4. But in biology, it is never that. Even in physics, it is never that. So we are getting closer to truth, never to the truth. How will I know that this is the truth? What I mean by that is you will be bombarded by things like that. That is, if you drink Complan, you go faster and go taller. If you use Colgate or some other toothpaste, you get nourishment to the teeth so that your teeth are stronger, you don't get decay. And then you will also have things like that, which are similar to what we are getting in physiotherapy. That is, you get these are the best exercise. You do 10 minutes of this and you will look like Ronaldo or Messi or probably Shah Rukh Khan or something like that. Or you take 1,000 steps and you become fitter, or you will prevent a heart attack, that kind of. Now, we want to understand if these are truths, but for us to understand if these are truths, we have to know how did they come to this point? How did they know that the 10 minutes is enough? How do they know that 10,000 steps are enough? How do they know Colgate is the best toothpaste or Complan is the best thing to drink? Now, because these are advertisements, by definition, I would suggest you never to believe all these things and try to find how did they come to this very diligently, unlike in other medicines pattern. But if you see it like an ad, you want to know how did they come to know these are the truths, right? In case of medicine, where these are all I'm saying is advertisement, in case of medicine, we know how the knowledge is derived. Now, these are some of the cricket players of the yesteryear and who are considered one of the greatest cricketers of our times. Now, if I ask any of us in this webinar, or even in the whole of India, if I ask out of all these things, who is the best, probably around 60 to 90% you will say that Sachin is the best, right? Nobody will even know who this guy is. At least half of us will not know this guy. And most of them will not select him because he is from a country which we don't like. I don't know why, but we don't like. So, and what does it mean is we all say this is the best, he is the best, not based on what data or how we came to that truth. We don't have any idea how it all is done. We just do it because of our probably our feeling, our gut feeling, or our way of thinking, our way of culture. We live in a country, so we all think that Sachin is the greatest player. If you ask some of the people who look into the data or statistics of each player and things like that, some of us probably, as I told you, 20 to 30% may say Bradman was greatest player, right? And then you can go deeper and say that probably somebody may come up with an idea. Probably Richard was a far better player, or Meander was a far better. So we are not sure how did we come to this, who is the best, or who is the best player in the world. But if I ask you what is the best treatment for tuberculosis, you cannot, all of us cannot have an answer which comes to our mind, which is nothing to do with anything. We all should not be thinking for tuberculosis, metacin is the best drug because that is what I feel because it was done in my country, or it was that's what my grandmother said, or something like that. We should have a better way of knowing. That's what we do in Olympics. So how do we know that Usain Bolt is the greatest or the fastest man in the world? Because we had a competition and we put all the best of the best and tried to see who comes first. And we all found out that Usain Bolt came first, right? So now we have a better idea, or we are slightly closer to the truth that Usain Bolt is the fastest man in that year, not today because he is retired. Probably somebody is running him faster than him. Probably in another 5 years, somebody will run faster than him. We don't know. But 3 years back, 5 years back, Usain Bolt was considered the fastest man on the world. How did we know? We put all the best athletes and found out who ran fastest. That is what we do in medicine. We have 2 or 3 treatments. They should read as C. So we have treatment 1, treatment 2, treatment 3, and treatment 4. And then we give it to different people and see which group of people get recovered faster. So if I have tuberculosis and if I have 3 treatments, one is, say, for example, a group of drugs. Another one is just drinking ginger coffee and ginger tea and walking around. The third is taking some roots. Then you compare all these people and see who comes first. What I mean by first year, who have lesser deaths, who have lesser symptoms, that kind of thing. That is what we mean by evidence-based medicine. So we want to have this kind of comparison. In medicine, we call it as random control trials. These are the experiments what you should have done in your school, right? You have done experiments to find the convexity of the lens, the focal length of your lens, the viscosity of the fluid, that kind of things to find the when we are trying to get closer to the truth. Here we do these kind of comparison between these treatments. We call it as random control trials. Now you might ask, is this I'm going to do in college? Not really. The evidence you have to, somebody who is in research will do all these things. As you all know, some of your faculty will be doing these research. I know for sure Prakash does a lot of research which has been appreciated worldwide. So they take this best evidence, the closer the truth, and we use it. And one of the places which you can find this is called as a Cochrane library, where you will see if you ask a question, say, what is the best treatment for low back pain? You can find answers in that, and it will give you those things, which are, as I told you, closer to true. Now, when you are applying that treatment, we want to understand we all live in an environment. The environment is different. A lot of us live in cities which are crowded, and some of us live in scantily populated from the Andaman tribes to the tribes of Nagaland. Right. So what does it mean? We are all social animals, so we have social interventions also. So when you are thinking of walking, or that's what we will do in case of physiotherapy, we will make people with disability walk. We want to understand that they have to walk in an environment which is suitable for them or which they have to walk in. So these are some of the ideas. You can see what a physiotherapist will be doing. You can see that there are some places where they are finding it difficult to navigate. Some people we have overcome. Say, for example, this is a pathway which they have made in Chennai to access the sea with a wooden ramp. Sometimes it is difficult. So these are the things which you will have better understanding, and we want to think like that when you become a therapist. And the environment in turn also affects your health also. And one of the greatest health interventions of the last 100 years are the germ theory, vaccination, probably antibiotics. But one of the most important things which prevented many of the diseases, clean water and clean toilets, good drainage system. So that is what is the prevention part of the what I was talking about in case of medicine. In case of physiotherapy, you will have a lot of exercise therapy, which is considered the best intervention to improve your health, along with clean water and clean sanitation and that kind of. So our role in prevention is also greater. You will learn about them. You will try to understand them and try to implement them in your environment. That's what I was talking about, whether you live in a city or in a faraway, remote rural area. So we know that we have a good treatment. We can find it out in certain websites or by doing research. We know that some of the exercise seems to be a good idea to prevent heart attacks and things like that. So you want to implement that. That's what a therapist does. For that, we have to be empathetic. We have to be we have to understand the human. For that, you need to understand his human body as well as the mind, because we are healing the whole body as such, not just the legs or hands or just your brain. We are changing the whole system or your whole body. For that, you need to have, as I told you earlier, have a good mind where you are understanding the person's suffering. You are understanding that the person who has come to me is suffering, and I can try to help him using the best available evidence I have, so that his life in this environment is easier. He is able to be a better productive part of the social animal. So that is the crux of what I wanted to talk today. So if you want to remember that we are social animals and we have to help each other, protect each other, and take care of each other to be a successful species, successful nation, successful state, successful family. So for that, we need to have good healthcare systems, and one of the systems for good healthcare is also part and parcel of it is physiotherapy. So that's the even though they told me to talk long, but I wanted to cut it short for a half an hour. So thanks for listening, and I'm hoping that you have learned something, or you have some understanding of what you would be expecting from physiotherapy. Thank you so much. Prakash?
Yeah, those we are open to questions now. For those who are having questions, you can unmute and speak, or you can type in the chat. Okay, all right. I assume there are not much questions, but I hope you all had a session that made you think. That was the goal. Maybe I hope in future when you come across such circumstances, you may remember what is being discussed. Thank you very much, Mr. Hariohm, for joining us and giving this presentation. It's a very unconventional but very interesting talk. And I hope our students have got the idea of what is being taught. That would be it. I'll end this meeting. Thank you all for everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Bala, and thanks for listening patiently. Thank you.